She just wants to be the best basketball player. And she's caught up in this political deal, and she's caught up in this racial discussion, and she's dealing with Nike, an organization that got her on a bargain basement deal and is telling her, well, we're going to wait to promote you until we're done promoting Asia Wilson. Won't even put out a Caitlin Clark commercial, won't put out a Caitlin Clark shoe, because Nike has decided that they must bow.
Nike has crumbled in recent years. They are worth more than $100 billion less than they were in 2021. It grew so terrible that many demanded that their CEO be sacked, forcing him to resign.
Yes.
Are sports losing popularity? No. So what's actually going on with Nike, and what does Caitlin Clark have to do with it? However, there is some good news. Nike has signed one of the rare generational players with the potential to make billions. Think of Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, LeBron James, and now Caitlin Clark. Caitlin inked an 8-year contract with Nike for up to $28 million in April of this year, a bargain that Nike will profit from, especially with a signature shoe. Despite earning unanimous WNBA Rookie of the Year, Nike has no plans to release a Caitlin Clark shoe. Why not? Well, Nike's official justification is an obvious falsehood. What are they hiding? This story gets absolutely wild.
Nike lucked into the marketing chance of a generation, and they're using that to advertise old product. Why is it happening this way? Now here's the money.
First off, Caitlin had already signed an NIL contract with Nike when she blew up in college. Caitlin was so famous that she became the most well-known college player in the country, twice as popular as second-place Angel Reese and 4 times more than the most popular male player. That has never occurred before. When she got professional, various shoe brands pursued her. Under Armour said she will be the face of the Curry brand, and Adidas and Nike also made bids. She stayed with Nike because of how they promoted her in college, and everyone was waiting for word on her trademark sneaker. But there's still no update. Until there was, but this update is pure laughingstock. Then Aja Wilson, who had just won another MVP, revealed her shoe, and a startling fact about Caitlin emerged. Wilson's sneaker, which began development in 2023, is slated to be released in spring 2025. According to this 2-year schedule, Clark's sneaker might be available in shops in 2026 to 2027. What? 2027? Nike's reason? The procedure is complicated and involves Clark and the Nike team's assistants, in addition to manufacturing millions of pairs and arranging a marketing campaign.
Had his own signature shoe his rookie year. So 20 years ago, Nike was nimble enough and had enough vision to see that, hey, let's get LeBron's shoe out here. This guy's going to be a big deal. They can't do this for Caitlin Clark for some reason. And lo and behold, though it wasn't exactly pushed on the public, there has been no Nike commercial for Clark as a pro. Let that sink in. No Caitlin Clark commercial. She's had 4 years of being the biggest star in all of sports, driving all these television ratings. No Nike commercial.
Well, if that is Nike's argument, they are lying. In 2003, shoe firms were also interested in signing LeBron James. Reebok, Adidas, and Nike were all desperate to sign him, and a signature shoe was at the top of their pitch. Nike even started developing his shoe before he signed. They didn't want the news to get out, so they created an internal code name, Air Zoom Nobel, LeBron written backward. Okay, it was very clear, so they chose Air Zoom Generation instead. While LeBron was still in high school, Nike began designing and manufacturing a sneaker for him without his knowledge. They planned to thoroughly overwhelm him, and it worked. LeBron joined with Nike and wore the LeBron 1S in his NBA debut. So you're telling me that Nike has grown so awful at shoe manufacturing that what used to take 3 months now takes 3 years? No, something else is happening here. Caitlin is smashing records while wearing Kobe's and has yet to appear in a Nike ad. They are actively trying to not get her in the spotlights. Could this have been the idea after all? Get her on one of the longest deals ever, and then push her to the side because Nike is focused on someone else? Aja Wilson.
Based on conversations with people in the know, it indeed has something to do with the WNBA MVP and Nike athlete Aja Wilson. But beyond Wilson, it's about the culture of the company that's more concerned with quelling noise rather than making it as Nike once used to.
In fact, Ethan Strauss, a well-connected and renowned journalist, stated on Substack that based on interactions with insiders, it is certainly related to WNBA MVP and Nike athlete A'ja Wilson. Really? What would that be? When Caitlin signed her $28 million agreement with Nike, there was a lot of criticism on social media. In fact, a major newspaper even ran a headline: Caitlin Clark is reportedly getting her own shoe. Here's why people are angry. According to the story, while Caitlin having her own shoe is a great development for women's basketball, reporting on the arrangement has sparked anger. What's the problem? Some fans claimed that the only WNBA players with trademark shoes were white. Many people believed that Las Vegas Aces' A'ja Wilson should have received her own shoe before Clark, who hadn't even played a WNBA game yet. Maybe this scared off Nike.
Idiots. They're not about business. They're not about growing the WNBA. They're about diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is insanity, what they're doing to Caitlin Clark. It's bad business. It's short-sighted.
Oh, so it's not that Caitlin isn't good at basketball, it's that it's not fair, and it's racist? Why would Nike care about fairness over what makes money? And even worse, why would Nike budge? Doesn't this just shows it's a racist motive after all? If they were to just move on in the most profitable way, it wouldn't have become such a big story. Later on, Ethan drew an excellent connection in his piece between Allen Iverson and Tim Duncan. Duncan was clearly the superior player, but Iverson dominated shoe sales and nobody complained about justice. In fact, Nike tested Tim Duncan shoes twice before canceling them owing to low sales. Do you know who didn't care? Timothy Duncan. But if A'ja Wilson was like Duncan, Caitlin Clark's situation may be different, but it isn't. A'ja enjoys being advertised by Nike, as she should. Most individuals want to be on billboards and in ads. Plus, it's profitable. But she also appears to promote the idea that it is racist. Look at what she told her teammate Kelsey Plum while watching another white athlete, Paige Buckers. Paige reminds me a lot of you. Like, it's not really about me. She knows how her privilege has guided her to that point. And also, like, she's good at basketball, obviously, but she understands her privilege. Plum reacted with, "Thank you." But A'ja's reply indicates that Paige's luxury has propelled her to the top. Of course, she's also terrific at basketball. No. Which is it? If A'ja is Nike's top female athlete, they don't want to disturb her. Imagine the criticism Caitlin would have received if Nike had handed her a sneaker straight away. Even Team USA's coach criticized Caitlin Clark. The WNBA tweeted about the first preseason game, which featured Caitlin prominently. However, the Lynx and USA coach said, "Also in play tonight, teams other than Caitlin Clark, etc. The W is more than one player." People were disappointed to see a WNBA and Olympic coach use the hashtag. An adult woman is furious over a 22-year-old's preseason debut. But that wasn't just all. Unsurprisingly, Caitlin was left off the Team USA selection. What was the rationale given? She had not earned it yet. Oh, that's not envy, it's a basketball choice. Caitlin then went on to be named first-team All-WNBA as a rookie, leading all rookies in points, field goals made, assists, steals, and minutes, as well as leading all players in assists and three-pointers made. She ended fourth in MVP voting. Her games drew more than 1 million people on television, although the typical WNBA game averages around 300,000. A ticket to her first playoff game cost more than all prior WNBA playoff games combined. The Washington Mystics recently hosted Caitlin's team, the Indiana Fever, and had to transfer to the Wizards Arena to accommodate all of the supporters, establishing a WNBA attendance record. So, despite the hype, she really is that excellent. Team USA eventually conceded that leaving her off the roster had been a mistake. So what about Nike? Are they really hesitating to give Caitlin Clark her own sneaker for fear of the social media backlash? It's fairly clear why the CEO had to step down, don't you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.